What's up, guys? Welcome back to Healthy Recipe. We're going to be making today a healthy beef chimichanga. A chimichanga is basically a deep fried burrito. It gives it a nice crust on the outside to a tortilla and it makes it extra crispy. But we're not going to be deep frying today. We're going to be using our Big Boss air fryer to make that crust on the outside without adding all the extra fat to it. We're also going to be using some bok choy as a filler in the burrito, just to add some extra fiber and phytonutrients. So let's get right to work. So let's go over our ingredients really quick. Since we're gonna be making our own tortillas here, I'm gonna be using Rob's Red Mill all-purpose organic flour. I've decided that I don't really wanna use anything store-bought with more than one ingredient if I can avoid it, just because there's so many chemicals and preservatives in the food. And making tortillas is simple enough. I'll show you guys how easy that is. I have here some homemade Pico de Gallo. I'll link the recipe to this on the iCard above. It's basically just tomatoes, cilantro, lime, and salt. I have some sliced red onions and orange bell peppers. This is some Kobe Jack cheese shredded. I have some of my homemade fermented hot sauce. I will also link this on the iCard above if you guys want to learn how to do this. If not, you can use your hot sauce of choice if you want, or if you don't want it hot, just leave it out. I have some organic black beans here. These are actually canned. They're Members Mark from Sam's Club. They actually have organic black beans now over there. I have some ground beef that I use for another recipe, and this is basically just ground beef, garlic, salt, chopped garlic, and a little bit of lime juice for acidity. I have some cumin, and I have some fresh baby bok choy chopped. And the reason why I'm using this stuff in so many recipes is basically because it's in season now. I have a lot of it in my garden. It's organic. And this stuff is loaded with phytonutrients, is loaded with vitamins, minerals. It's really, really good, and it's got a lot of fiber, and it's very simple to add into recipes as a filler, just to kind of give you, more nutrition and take away some calories. So this is basically all the ingredients we're using, and that's about it. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get our peppers and onions sauteed while we start making our dough. I get these in a pan over here with a little bit of peanut oil. All right, so now we're gonna get these sauteing and we're gonna start on our dough. Okay, so we're gonna use about 1 cup of organic flour, and we're gonna add in about a half a cup of water. I never really measured this exactly. I just make a dough. If I gotta add more flour, I add more. To that, we're gonna add a little bit of salt, just about a pinch. And we're gonna start mixing it, just folding it in. You just wanna kinda like squeeze this and make it into a nice smooth dough that doesn't stick to your fingers. In the beginning, it will stick to your fingers. If it sticks to the fingers, then you gotta add a little bit more flour. You want it to become like silky smooth in the end. Okay, so you just want to keep working this until it becomes like very stretchy, but it doesn't stick to your hands. And you guys can make this ahead of time, and you could actually freeze it and then leave it out, thaw it to use. That works out pretty well. You could also make your tortillas and put them in between wax paper, and also freeze them or keep them in the fridge. All right, now that it's pretty pliable, I'm gonna go ahead and work on it on the cutting board. I'm gonna go ahead and knead it a little bit. Then we're gonna roll it out. All right, so our peppers are done. I'm gonna go ahead and set those aside for now. Now we're gonna go ahead and put our beef in here and add in the bok choy, soften up. Now that flavor from the peppers and onions is actually gonna permeate that beef now. And just to deglaze the pan, I'm going to add a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. And that's going to help get that crust off the bottom, which has got a ton of flavor. It's going to get all of that into our beef. All right, so now we're just gonna turn the heat on that down a little bit. Gonna let it finish cooking, and we're gonna finish our tortillas. All right, so those pretty elastic right now. It's not really sticking to my fingers anymore. Just want to kind of stretch it, you know, work on it, knead it, push it back and forth, fold it until it becomes really, really elastic and very pliable. So then you can stretch it out to make it into your tortillas. Do this for about 5 to 10 minutes. It's actually a really good workout. I imagine that back in the old days when they didn't have the machines to do this to the bread, the people that were bread makers probably had the strongest hands in the world. All right, so that's pretty much how we want it. Easy to stretch, to work with. I'm gonna go ahead and take the first ball here to create our tortilla, about that size. Mash it down. I'm gonna put some more flour down. I want this to be pretty thin. Roll them out one way, and I'm gonna roll them the other way. Alright, so now our beef is done. I'm gonna set that aside also. Alright, so now in a bigger pan, I'm gonna take a little bit of oil. Just run it on the bottom. We're gonna go ahead and cook our first tortilla on medium-high heat. All right, so we got our first tortilla over there cooking. We're gonna go ahead and get our black beans mashed, because this is what's gonna go underneath the beef. So basically, I'm gonna add a little bit of olive oil, about a half a tablespoon. This is gonna help to emulsify it. Go ahead and put in a little bit of Worcestershire sauce, since I already got it out. Half a teaspoon of cumin. Gonna go ahead and mash these. All right, so our first tortilla is done. Looks beautiful, nice and pliable. And we're gonna go ahead and assemble it. Okay, so we're gonna go with our bean paste, the beef, peppers and onions, shredded cheese, and Pico de Gallo. Oh, and the hot sauce. Fold it. And we're all set to go. Got all three ready to go in. All right, so I was able to fit all three on the basket. I'm actually gonna cook them on the bottom. And I'm gonna do these at 400 degrees. We're gonna go for 20 minutes. It might be less than that. All we gotta do is really brown the outside and melt the ingredients. So we'll hit it for 20 at 400 degrees. Come back in 10 minutes and see what they look like. All right, so these are pretty much where we want them. Okay, so because this is kind of crispy, the knife actually like almost cracked it. So I'm gonna try to saw across it. And that works a lot better. When I went to go cut it, I put pressure on it and it almost cracked the shell. So it looks really, really nice. The cheese is all melted. This is super hot, so I'm gonna go ahead and set it down. Okay guys, so there you have it. There's my beef chimichanga recipe made from scratch. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you liked it, remember to give us a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you guys in the next one. Okay, so our chimichangas are cooled off enough so I can take a bite and let you guys know how it is. All the cheese is nice and melted. It looks nice and crispy and browned on the outside. So let's see what they taste like. The black beans in there make it really creamy. It's got some nice spice, a little bit of acidity from the hot sauce that I added. The cumin comes through nicely also. The yellow pepper and onion also adds some nice texture, a little bit of crunch. Absolutely love these. Even though they took a little bit of work, if you make the wraps ahead of time, the tortillas, like I said, and keep them in the fridge, you'll keep them frozen. That was really the only thing that added a little bit of extra work to it. Or if you have the meat pre-done, you could do so many things with this. And it's different because it's, a crunchy shell and it's totally delicious.